Science is a huge field, filled with so many disciplines, all of which are continuously advancing. Whether it is the latest ecological research or looking at what is happening out there in our solar system, there is sure to be something new being researched and announced at any given time. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be taking a look at 3 recent scientific discoveries. Oldest known human footprints in North America discovered at National Park. Up until this next discovery, archaeologists believed that humans first appeared in North America 11,000 to 13,000 years ago, basing this judgment on stone spears found scattered throughout the continent. However, they have now uncovered what is thought to be the oldest known human footprints in North America, dating back to a whopping 23,000 years ago during the Ice Age. That is a staggering 10 millennia before we thought humans had ever inhabited North America. Previously, it was thought that humans could not have expanded into the lands of America this far back in time, as massive glaciers, referred to as the last glacial maximum, would have greatly obstructed their path. The originally speculated dates made more sense, as 13,000 years ago humans would have been able to cross from Asia to North America once the Ice Age period was over and corridors were ice-free. The new archaeological find showcases 60 human footprints, being most likely those of children and teenagers, it is thought, with the occasional adult print judging on sizes. The discovery also tells us more about how these settlers used to interact with each other. This revelation is set to completely upturn existing theories of past human existence and population patterns. Resources manager David Bustos found the footprints in White Sands National Park of New Mexico, and they were then analyzed using carbon dating techniques on embedded seeds found within them. It now calls into serious question the validity of previous estimates that humans first walked through North America 13,500 years ago. Instead, these theories have been revised to suggest that our predecessors could have crossed from Asia to the Americas as early as 26,000 to 19,000 years ago. Thinking more about where the footprints were found, it is thought that 2 ancient Apache trails used to cross what is now the national park. The descendants of the original Apache settlers are referred to as Mescalero Apache. While it is a hugely game-changing discovery, Bustos reminds us that it is also sad to think of how much other insight we could have lost to soil erosion in the area. Nonetheless, the discovery shows not only how far we have come in terms of scientific progress, but that sites such as this national park still have a wealth of history waiting to be found if we can preserve their contents well enough. It is raining plastic in the Rocky Mountains. One thing that nobody expected to be falling from the sky is plastic. Unfortunately, that is exactly what a team of researchers working with the United States Geological Survey uncovered during their analysis of rainwater samples in the Rocky Mountains. The team was using the samples in order to determine if nitrogen pollution was present, but what they found was even more concerning. The analysts revealed that microplastic was found in over 90% of the samples that were collected from 8 different sites throughout Denver and Boulder, Colorado. And while microplastics in rainwater is not an unusual or unique occurrence, it was previously thought that most instances of contamination were limited to urban areas with much higher pollution rates. However, many of these recent samples were taken from locations that were very rural, and were not expected to contain the levels of microplastics that they did. The research team stated in the report that more plastic fibers were observed in samples from urban sites than from remote, mountainous sites. However, frequent observation of plastic fibers in washout samples from the remote site CO98 at Lock Vale in Rocky Mountain National Park suggests that wet deposition of plastic is ubiquitous and not just an urban condition. The site CO98 that is referenced in the Rocky Mountains is from a rarely frequented location over 3,000 meters above sea level, where it was thought that the likelihood of plastic contamination would be low. After further analysis of the plastics, it seems that most of the contamination is from thin strands resembling synthetic fibers from many clothes and other fabrics. The plastics were noted in a veritable rainbow of colours, from blue to red, purple, green and even silver. Although these microscopic particles are only visible under at least 20 times magnification and may not seem like much, the fact of the matter is that millions of tons of these microplastics make their way into our oceans and ecosystems every year, and some estimate that we consume over 70,000 microplastic particles a year at the bare minimum. These recent results confirm that there is undoubtedly much more plastic that exists unsuspected within our world, and determining the extent of the potential damages is critical in assessing the state of the pollution crisis, both visible and microscopic. Because these microplastics were discovered in areas where they were totally unanticipated, the researchers who were part of the team were able to conclude that it might be quite literally raining plastic and thus affecting even the rural and unpopulated ecosystems much more than scientists had anticipated. However, because the original study was only structured for the analysis of nitrogen pollution in the collected samples, the microplastic pollution having been an unanticipated shock, much more thorough investigation is needed to determine what this discovery might mean for the microplastic pollution across the world. Ancient Egyptian mummy 7 months pregnant. What comes to mind when you think of ancient Egypt? Perhaps the unthinkable feat of human architecture known as the pyramids, the mysterious traps and tombs beneath the surface, or what about the scorching hot Egyptian summers that make the deserts in the distance hazy? Needless to say, there is plenty about ancient Egypt that is full of potential to explore. That is precisely what researchers and tomb robbers alike have been doing for hundreds of years. Where the former's motivations lie in curiosity, the latter's lie in millions of dollars worth of riches that adorn the mummified bodies of the royals. However, no matter who dares to venture beneath and disturb those at rest, it is said that an unbreakable curse falls upon them. Luckily, there will be no curse that falls upon you today as we explore one of the most fascinating recent discoveries surrounding the mummy that was uncovered. Researchers who laid their eyes upon the body initially thought that they had discovered a male priest. Instead, they realized with shock that it was not only a woman, but actually a pregnant woman of 7 months. The X-ray and computer tests that were run revealed the small feet and hands of a fetus within the woman's body, making the woman the first and only known case of her kind. Though she was pregnant, her body had been preserved for far longer. She dates back to the 1st century BC, near Upper Egypt in royal tombs of Thebes. Yet how exactly did the researchers make such a categorical blunder in the first place? Perhaps the answer lay within her coffin, which had an inscription that noted it contained a male priest by the name of Hor-Jehuti. Because it was common for bodies to not exactly match their coffins, perhaps her body had been there by mistake due to some mix-up on part of some grave robbers. Upon actually laying their eyes upon the body, the researchers were surprised to find that it had female physical features. The fetus confirmed that she had been pregnant, and at the young age of between 20 to 30. Though it was a complete mystery as to how exactly she died, the mummification process was intricate and carefully done. Her body was laid in layers of fabric, and because of her supposed high social status, she was buried with several amulets and other items. In terms of what her discovery means for science, it opens up the doors to new research on the practices of how embalming has occurred for pregnant women. Just as more and more tombs are being uncovered every day, new light is shining upon age-old mysteries. But what do you make of these recent discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please help us grow this community by liking and subscribing to our channel, and thank you for watching.